with a little experiment. So I'm going to say, I'm not sure I can do all these things at the same time. I'm going to say 4 statements, and if you agree with the statement, do the action I say after the statement. So play along with me. So the first one is, I currently feel like I have too much work to do. If you agree with this, raise your right hand. 3 people, okay. Number 2, I can't process all of the email I receive on a daily basis. If you agree with this, keep your right hand up and raise your left hand. Okay. Number 3, I regularly suffer back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain from being over my computer all day long. If you agree with this, keep your hands raised and stand up. And last but not least, my work often spills over into evenings and weekends, as my boyfriend, I know he does anyway, and if that's the, then sway. Side to side, there we go. Yay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to try and do this at the same time. So this is where my journey into well-being, working better, productivity and digital all started with Mr. Ferris. Love him or hate him, it's a very interesting book. And I read it back in 2007 and it completely changed the way that I thought about my work and why I was working, what I was working for, and how I was working. And it basically set me off on this journey, which I'm still on today, which is, I call it my adventures in lifestyle design, and it brought me in 2008 to this place here. This is Nerja in the south of Spain, where I lived for 1 year. Nice beach, huh? Running, swimming every morning, it was very nice. And here for a year I built my first online business and really started experimenting with different ways of living and different ways of working. But after a year I got a little bit bored, so I wanted to come back to London. And today I live what I call a part-time location independent lifestyle, which means I'm based here in London, but I take extended trips and take my computer and go work in different places. So I just got back from 5 weeks in Lisbon, which is very nice, 17 degrees every day. So this is me. I run Eightfold, which is a digital well-being company, and I help people work better, and that means lots of different things. And why I'm interested in that is that I think that we're not working really, really well. The way we're working isn't working particularly effectively. You know, we all know things like this, information overload, where we've got so much stuff going on with our emails, our blogs. The amount of data we're trying to input on a daily basis is expanding exponentially in the top of the funnel, but you know, our capacity to actually process it, you know, isn't really keeping up to pace. I love this slide. It's like, it kind of just says everything about the web. So the problem with Wikipedia, you're doing some research on a bridge up here, 3 hours later you're looking at lesbianism in erotica and wet t-shirt. You know, we've all been there for 3 hours, you're like, where did that time go? And this is another one I love. It's like, well, in 1980, so you may have had 2 hours between interruptions, pages, cell phones, and now with Twitter and Facebook, we're just totally fucked. So you know, can't do anything anymore. We just have no focus. And the weird thing is, what I've learned in my research and practices over the last couple of years is that our brain is kind of working against us. This is a very cute picture of 2 kittens, one's fighting, one's flighting. It's the only thing I could find on Google. Anyway, so we all know the fight or flight mechanism, right? You know, you're in a stressful situation, the hormones start pumping, the blood goes to your muscles so you get ready to go or to fight. And this, you know, is really, really useful if you're out there on the savannah and you come across one of these. It's the saber-toothed tiger, but we don't find too many of those in London these days. What we do find are these. These are our 21st century predators. Just go back to a nice monkey with some nice hair. And, you know, actually fight or flight is actually really good in a work context to an extent. We all know there's times when you've got a deadline, as Alex, and you're rushing to get it finished and you've got like great tunnel vision and you're totally focused. But however, if we work on this way constantly, the stress hormones start to break down our bodies, it leads to burnout. We can also make really, really bad decisions because we're not focusing on the bigger picture in our work. The second trait that our brain likes to play on us, to work against us, is this guy, monkey mind, which is a yogic and Buddhist concept. And so if I asked you to sit there for 10 minutes and clear your mind, you wouldn't be able to do it because it's an impossible task. Our minds naturally jump around from thought to thought. Thoughts come up and thoughts go. And when we're surrounded by distractions at work, our brain is trying to like grab onto these things. So it's basically working against us. And the second one is this lovely little hormone here, dopamine. So the research shows that things like email, or maybe your blog reader, or your Twitter feed are actually incredibly addictive. And they're addictive because they fire up the reward mechanism in our brain and produces dopamine. And why it does that is because we don't know what's in there. So before you open your email, you're like, oh, that could be a really good email. It could be someone's paid me, or somebody wants to come talk, it's so exciting. But actually it's all just crap, and you wish you had never looked at it in the first place. But that's why these things are really, really exciting, and we get quite addicted to them. So tomorrow morning, before you open your email, just listen for a second to that pull you have to your inbox and go, haha, dopamine, I can beat you. So I wanted to share just a couple of ideas and practices that I've been experimenting with over the last few years, and just to see if we can come up with some sort of solution to this problem we're having at work. I'm just going to get some of these, ready some of these. So the first one is, we're not a PC. So there was a really interesting study done in 2005 by King's College London, and they took 3 groups of people. They got one group to just do an IQ test, one group to do an IQ test and to respond to email at the same time, and the other group to do the IQ test and smoke marijuana. So now obviously over here, our guys here did really, really well, but can you guess which one's better? Email pot, which one? It was the pot people won, they did better. The email people sucked. So anyway, the moral of the story is, we're just not very good at multitasking. We think we are. You remember on your CD, oh, I'm really good at multitasking. You're not, trust me. The research shows again and again, we're really, really bad. So basically we need to do single tasking. We're not a PC. We can't flick from program to program, task to task, without losing a lot of the power and the attention that we have. So the best thing you can do tomorrow is pick one thing and work on it. That's it. Do less. So, there's a great quote from David Allen here somewhere, which I'm going to lose. Okay. David Allen wrote Getting Things Done. He says stress, I'm going to do this wrong. His definition of stress is the subconscious, it's the unconscious, unkept agreements that we have with ourselves, that we beat ourselves up with all the time. So one of the first things I get my clients to do is to do a total brain dump of everything they've got going on in their work, in their lives, and to just get rid of some of it. Because when they write it all down, it's hilarious what happens. They think some of it's on there, been on there for so long that nobody cares anymore. Some of it they just get rid of, some they can delegate. But the moral of it is just try and do less. Okay. All time is not created equally. Think of your workday today. There were times when you're really productive, really focused, getting stuff done, and there were times when you'd be better off just taking a nap in the toilet. So all of the day is not created equally, but we seem to treat it as if it was. So great advice is to try and find out what those productive times are and really ring-fence those for your most important work. Distractions, we're surrounded by distractions. We've got emails, we've got social media, we've got other people annoying us, etc., etc. What I try and I've been practicing with is this idea around push-pull. So instead of other people pushing their priorities and their agenda onto you, it's you pull them to you when you're ready to deal with them. So it's about shutting out those distractions till you've got the energy and focus to deal with them. Okay. Stop, breathe, refocus, always good. We don't tend to breathe, obviously during talks, but we don't tend to breathe much at work. So I've been practicing a lot with trying to build in small breathing practices into my work. So whether that's 3 deep breaths before I open my email, or while I'm making a cup of coffee, doing some stretches and diaphragmatic breathing, I can't even pronounce it, in the kitchen, things like that. So trying to build in these things into your day can really, really help. Yeah. I'm writing a book at the moment called The Business Yogi with a colleague, and a lot of the focus of the book is about how we don't really bring our body to work. We tend to sort of from here down, hook it up and put it on a little hook, and then we walk out with the rest of our, I'm at work, And so bringing our body to work can really help us be less stressed, be really focused. Because we've got a lot of inner wisdom from here down, but we don't always listen to it. Thank you. I'm going to skip over the next one. Other people, they're really stressful. Get over it. Meaning, I just wanted to say about meaning that, yeah, I think the world is shifting, and I think a lot of people are unhappy at work. I was when I used to work for other people, because I didn't have any meaning, and it was uncalibrated, and it didn't fit, it didn't align with what I'm about. And I think things are changing. I think if we can all try and build businesses and work on projects that align with what we're about and create value and meaning, and I think we'll all make the world a better place. And then the final thing, yeah? Great. So, my question that I want to leave you with is, I'm not really interested in work-life balance, because if you're doing interesting things and you work for yourself, you know, your work is your life. But I am interested in work-world balance. And I think that work-world balance is out of kilter if it's affecting your health, which we've already heard about, if it's affecting your social bonds with your family and your friends, and if you're missing out on the world, you're missing out on the things that you love. So my question is to you today, how is your work-world balance? And if it's off kilter, what action are you going to do tomorrow to get it back on track? Thank you.